Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome inside Pheno Field as Milford TV is once again happy to bring you coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics. This is Tim Coet on the call as we get set to bring you a good rivalry game here on this Friday afternoon. The Milford Scarlet Hawks baseball team about ready to take on the Oliver Ames Tigers. Of course, as we've chronicled all throughout this last 2016-17 school year, Oliver Ames and Milford no longer division rivals, with Oliver Ames moving up to the Kelly Rex division for this athletic season. But that has not in any way derailed the fierce rivalry between these two schools. Very intense on the field. Sometimes emotions run high during these matchups, so as always, we expect to have a phenomenal contest this afternoon between these two baseball teams, both of them doing very well in their respective division standings coming into this afternoon's game. Milford, of course, comes in second place, once again tied with North Attleboro for second place in the Davenport standings with an overall record of 5-3. They are 4-3 within league play. Oliver Ames, meanwhile, tied for first place in the Kelly Rex division with Mansfield OA with a 6-4 overall record and a 5-3 record within league play. When we last covered the Scarlet Hawks team back on Monday afternoon, it ended up being a tough luck loss for Milford. They had control of the game early against North Attleboro, breaking out to an early 2-0 lead. They had a 3-1 lead within the middle innings, but ultimately North Attleboro was able to spark a comeback generated partially by a couple of fielding miscues by Milford, and ultimately North was able to win the game by a final score of 7-3. That broke up Milford's 4-game winning streak, but they got right back onto their winning ways in their most recent game. That took place just about 24 hours ago, back on April 27th. Milford traveling to Sharon High School to take on the Eagles, and it ended up being a 4-3 victory for the Scarlet Hawks, back behind a complete game effort on the mound by Nate Irwin. He had 5 strikeouts in the game, a quality performance for the senior, so getting Milford their 5th win overall on the season. Quickly getting close to game time now between these two teams. Excited to get this one underway in just a few moments, so we want to make sure we get the starting lineups in for both teams. We will begin with the visitors, the Oliver Ames Tigers. Leading it off is their shortstop, Matt Muir. The third baseman, Chris Pearsons, bats second, with Mitchell Goulet, one of the hottest hitters in the Hockomock League. He plays second base and bats third. Kyle Gagliardi is the cleanup hitter, playing center field, with Michael Friel, the designated hitter, batting fifth. Batting sixth is Travis Campbell, the right fielder, with Evan DeMartinez, the left fielder, batting seventh. Sam Burr, one of the captains, bats eighth and plays first base. And Reed Latham, who was just a recent addition, as we found out prior to game time, to this varsity roster for OA. He is the catcher today, batting ninth. And for the Milford Scarlet Hawks, their lineup looks like this. Ryan Gonsalves once again atop the lineup, playing center field, with Anthony Arcudi playing second and batting second. Aiden Wild plays third and is your number 3 hitter, with Zach Tamani, the shortstop, in the cleanup spot. Alex Cody is your designated hitter, batting fifth, with Alex Masick as today's starting pitcher, batting sixth. Tyler Renault in the field defensively. He plays first base and bats seventh, with Kevin Cambrola, the left fielder, batting eighth. And Tony Mobilia is your number 9 hitter and playing right field. So your pitching matchup between these two teams, as we mentioned, Alex Masick will take the mound in just a few moments. The Milford ace getting another start on the season in this showdown between Davenport and Kelly Rex, and on the mound for Oliver Ames will be Ben Kemp. So those are your lineups and your pitching matchups. And Milford will no doubt have a little bit of extra spring in their step for this matchup here this afternoon. As we mentioned, hard to be wanting for a reason to get up for this matchup between Milford and Oliver Ames, these two schools with such a spirited rivalry. But looking back at the last time these two baseball teams faced each other, it was in the late stages of last season, and Milford stood on the brink of playoff elimination. They needed to sweep the remainder of their schedule in order to sneak into a playoff spot, and they faced this Oliver Ames team in a game that took place back on May 18th here at Pheno Field. And it was a close back-and-forth game through the early innings. Milford had a lead after the first. They actually chased Oliver Ames starter Nick Zwerley after just a third of an inning. Milford had a 3-1 lead after the first inning, but Matt Muir, who is in the lineup as one of the captains for Oliver Ames this season, he had one of the key hits in the game with a 3-run triple to tie the game at 3. Oliver Ames ultimately pulled away in the late innings, and they defeated Milford in that game last season by a final score of 10-4. So that was the final nail in the coffin of the streak for the Scarlet Hawks last season. That loss to Oliver Ames officially eliminating the Hawks from postseason play back in 2016. So that has to be on the minds of many of these returning players as they get set to take the field as the two head coaches go over ground rules with the two-man officiating crew prior to this game. Joseph Abar, the head coach for Oliver Ames. Of course, head coach Paul Pellegrini also out there going over those field instructions. As you can see, once again, Pheno Field looking its absolute best. We've seen the field continue to get greener and greener over these early weeks of the spring season, now looking in mid-season form out there, that brand new field turf, that brand new sod, I should say, on the infield and into the outfield. Looking in pristine condition, the trees continuing to get fuller beyond the outfield. So once again, Pheno taking on its special, unique charm that makes it one of the top playing surfaces in all of the state of Massachusetts. So fans here coming to the field this afternoon, treated to, once again, picturesque conditions and also terrific weather conditions for this game as well. Right now, just a couple of clouds overhead blocking out the sunshine, but it has been around 80 degrees through much of the afternoon here in Milford. So it's a warm one, feeling like summer on this late April afternoon as the Scarlet Hawks have now taken the field. Alex Masick going through his warm-up tosses now, as we'll take an opportunity to look at some stats for Alex Masick to this point on the season. This is our second opportunity to see Masick on the mound. We saw him in that victory against Foxborough a couple of weeks ago. He comes into this matchup. This is now his fifth start of the season, coming in with a record of 2-2. He's thrown 21 1/3 innings so far on the season. He's allowed a total of 23 hits, just 6 walks to 20 strikeouts. He's allowed 15 runs, but just 7 of them earned, carries a nice 2.30 ERA into the matchup. And again, Alex Masick healthy in this 2017 season and looking very strong through the early days as he leads the staff. We've seen impressive performances from all three of Milford's starting pitchers that have gotten the bulk of the action so far on the season. Looking at Nate Irwin again, who notched a victory in Milford's game against Sharon yesterday. He has a 2-0 record with a nice tidy ERA on the season as well, a 1.7 ERA for Nate Irwin. So he has impressed, making a lot of progress in his senior season. Aiden Wild also with a 1-1 record. He's thrown 13 2/3 innings so far on the season, has 12 strikeouts, and also has a 2.56 ERA. Ended up tiring in the late innings of that loss to North Attleboro, but all in all, Aiden Wild, who Coach Pellegrini initially factored in as a late inning reliever for this team, has stepped into the rotation and has done a fine job. But we will see Alex Masick on the mound here today. He is set to go, as is the leadoff hitter for Oliver Ames, Matt Muir. He is waiting just outside the right side batter's box. So baseball about to get underway here at Pheno, just after 4 o'clock in the afternoon on this Friday, April 28th. And Masick right now strides atop the pitching rubber into his windup. And the first pitch of the ball game is up and in on Muir. The sunshine quickly making a return. It has been a very bright, strong, summer-like sun throughout much of the afternoon as this ball is flared in the air and foul ground wide of first base, and Masick and Renault collide. Neither is able to make the catch as the ball lands harmlessly foul, and Masick able to get up without much difficulty. Tyler Renault looking a little ginger as he heads back towards first base, favoring what looks to be his right shoulder. Of course, it's the left shoulder that is the concern for Tyler, which has taken him out of the pitching equation for the Scarlet Hawks. The left-handed pitcher unable to throw due to a torn labrum suffered during last summer's Legion baseball season. But Tyler not even wanting to get checked on by Coach Pellegrini, waving him off as he is ready to go. Coach Pellegrini also checking on Alex Masick, who looks like he'll throw a warm-up toss here just to make sure he's okay. And Coach Pellegrini satisfied as he heads back to the dugout. So an eventful play right to start this game as pitcher and first baseman collide in foul territory. But both good to continue. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count to Matt Muir as the righty Masick fires to the plate. And this is a line drive back up the middle. And that is good for a leadoff base hit from Muir. Defensively for Milford, once again, it is Riley Lynch who is flexed out of the lineup, only playing defensively at catcher. Aiden Wild is at third, Zach Tamani at short, Anthony Arcudi at second, and Tyler Renault at first. Left to right in the outfield, Kevin Cambrola, Ryan Gonsalves, and Tony Mobilia. A lead for Muir at first as Masick hesitates and now fires in. This ball is hit on the ground towards Arcudi. It could be two. The throw to second out there. And the throw from Tamani in time at first to complete the 4-6-3 double play. And with just one pitch, Masick able to quickly clear the bases. As Chris Pearsons grounds into that twin killing. 2 outs now, and that leaves it up to Mitchell Goulet. And Goulet takes a first pitch strike at the knees. Good pitch from Masick to get the at-bat started. Here's the 0-1. And that's on the outside part of the plate for a called strike 2, so 0-2 quickly the count to Goulet. With 2 outs and the bases empty, Masick looking to face the minimum here in the first. He kicks and deals, and that's a tapper sent foul at the plate. Goulet stays alive. We mentioned as we gave the lineups, Goulet one of the hottest hitters in the Hockomock League. When the stats were updated for the league at the beginning of the week, Goulet carried a .533 batting average. 3 runs batted in to that point in the season. Oliver Ames has played a couple so far this week, so those stats have slightly adjusted, but still the plus .500 batting average impressive through the early weeks of the season for Goulet. Masick looking to conclude this first inning. Here's the pitch, and that's on the outside part of the plate for a called strike 3. And Masick indeed just faces 3 batters here in the top of the first inning. Oliver Ames gets a hit, but that runner quickly erased on the double play. We've played a half inning. Milford will take their first swings of the game when we come back next here on coverage of Scarlet Hawks Athletics on Milford TV. Oliver Ames does not score in the first inning. And so now the Scarlet Hawks will take their first at-bats of the afternoon. A rowdy crowd starting to form here at Pheno. Some vocal fans along both the left and right field lines as Ryan Gonsalves digs in on the right side to face the starter for OA, Ben Kemp. And Kemp sends an off-speed pitch that hits the top of the strike zone. Starting off the at-bat with strike 1. And now a looping pitch that stays well high this time. 1 ball and 1 strike for Ryan Gonsalves, who's batting .333 on the season. Sends a hard ground ball to third base. That's a fair ball. It's gobbled up at third by Pearsons, and his throw to first base is in time. A very nice play for the OA third baseman, Chris Pearsons, collecting that one just behind the third base bag, got to his feet quickly, and fired accurately to first for the 5-3 groundout. Leadoff man retired, and now here is Anthony Arcudi. Arcudi also with a hefty batting average at .346. And a wave and a miss out in front of that pitch from Kemp. Arcudi's next hit will be his 10th on the season. He has a pair of doubles, also has a triple on the year. And that pitch misses. Arcudi had a key hit in the victory against Sharon yesterday. Lays off on that pitch that dipped down and in, and now Arcudi jumps ahead in the count, 2 balls and a strike. Arcudi went 1 for 3 with 2 runs scored, a double and an RBI. Now sends another ball on the ground to third base, a brief bobble this time from Pearsons, but a good throw still gets there ahead of Arcudi. Good arm strength for Pearsons over at third. He's been responsible for the first 2 outs of this first inning. That leaves it up to Aiden Wild. And you want to talk about plus .500 batting averages. How about .526 for Aiden Wild through the first 8 games? And Wild takes a look at the first pitch for strike 1. 8 RBI for Aiden Wild so far on the season. The Scarlet Hawks bats getting a look at the left-handed starter in this game. That pitch misses just low. 2 outs and the base is empty in the bottom of the first. As Wild taps this one once again towards third base, they test Pearson's once more. This time a low throw to first base, but it's dug out by Sam Burr for the out. That retires the side. Milford goes in order in their half of the first. We've now played 1 full from Fino, and it is scoreless between the Scarlet Hawks and the Oliver Ames Tigers here on Milford TV. Alex Masick right back to the mound, set to face batters 4, 5, and 6, and first pitch swinging. This grounder sent to third. Wild plays it on the backhand and fires to Renault, and it's a 1-pitch out for Masick as Kyle Gagliardi goes quickly to open up the top half of the second inning. So the last 4 balls we've seen put in play by these two teams combined have all gone for 5-3 groundouts. That brings up Michael Friel, the designated hitter. And Friel takes a look at strike 1. Masick allowed a lot of base runners in the game against Foxborough last week, but was able to dance his way out of trouble. Ended up allowing just a single earned run in the game. Ready to deliver an 0-2 pitch, and that's low. No chase from Friel. The infield playing deep at first, second, and short. Aiden Wild in a little bit tighter at third base. Here's the pitch, and that's a wave and a miss for strike 3. Friel with an off-balance swing on an outside pitch, and that's strikeout number 2 for Masick. Two quick outs in the top of the second inning, and that leaves it up to Travis Campbell, the right fielder. Another righty stick who takes a look at a called strike 1. Masick getting ahead of a lot of these batters through the early couple innings. Here's his 0-1 pitch, and this is sent on the ground to first base. Renault can't find it. Now gets to it and fires just a couple of feet away to Masick, covering the first base bag for the out. That ends the inning as Masick sets them down 1-2-3 in the top half of the second. We head to the home half of the frame. When we come back, it's still scoreless between Milford and Oliver Ames right here on Milford TV. It will be Zach Tamani getting things started for the Hawks offense in the bottom of the second. A couple of swift moving frames to open up this matchup between Milford and Oliver Ames as Tamani fouls the first pitch he sees off to the right and out of play. We've only seen one very brief base runner as Oliver Ames led off the game with a single, and on the very next pitch, that runner was erased on a double play ball. No base runners for either side since. Tamani hoping for better results for Milford to lead off the second inning. He sends a high fly ball out to right field. This sends Travis Campbell back, but now settles underneath and is able to make the catch. It's the first ball Milford's managed to lift against Ben Kemp so far. But it ends up in the glove of the right fielder, Travis Campbell, for out number 1. And now here is Alex Cody. And Cody takes a big looping breaking ball for a called strike 1. It's even what looks to be a slow curveball out of the hand of Kemp that just drops in there. That pitch misses, evening the count. The 1-1 pitch, and this is popped up out to shallow left field. A long run for DeMartinez, now towards the line. He makes the catch. So both corner outfielders tested, each one up to the challenge, and Tamani and Cody are retired. And that brings up the starting pitcher, Masick. Alex in the lineup for Milford. Ben Kemp not in the lineup on the Tigers side as Kemp fires in strike one. And now that pitch is strike two. Masick carries a .777 batting average into today's contest. Here's the pitch, and Masick, a late swing, dribbles it on the ground to the left side. Pearsons loses his balance, but gets back to his feet and fires accurately to first for the out. Pearsons continues to show off his athleticism early in this game, and the result finishes off a 1-2-3 second inning. We'll head right on to the third. Still looking for our first run in this one, 0-0 between Milford and Oliver Ames on Milford TV. First two innings only taking about 15 minutes between these two sides. The pitchers have brought their A game in this rivalry Friday matchup. Milford and Oliver Ames. The last time we covered a sporting event between these two schools was the regular season boys basketball game between these two teams, which once again had emotions and tensions running high. So far, it's been relatively good-natured between the two baseball teams as Alex Masick just misses with that first pitch in to Evan DeMartinez. Now his 1-0 pitch is swung on and missed. Masick with 2 strikeouts through his first 2 innings. Now ready with his 1-1 offering and gets that past the bat of DeMartinez. One ball and 2 strikes now. And this one sent hard on the ground to first base, and that is a foul ball. Renault trying to track that one down right where the infield dirt meets the outfield grass, but that one just into foul territory. And it stays a 1-2 count. Masick a deep breath on the mound before he accepts the sign from Lynch. Into his windup, and the pitch is swung on and missed. Strikeout number 3. And Masick has now set down 5 batters in a row. Can make it 6 batters in a row with that first out here in the third. And now the number 8 hitter, Sam Burr, one of 2 Oliver Ames captains. Burr along with Matt Muir, the 2 captains. Sam Burr a senior, while Muir a junior. The pitch into the lefty batter. That just misses. And now a tapper back out towards the mound. Masick waits for it. Now slings it over to Renault. Lifts the glove over his head to make the catch. And the out goes 1-3. And now we will see the number 9 hitter, Reed Latham, stand in on the right side. And he takes a look at a called strike 1. Had a chance to speak just very briefly with Coach Joseph Abar for Oliver Ames before the game. Mentioned that Latham had been newly added to the varsity squad in time for the game today. Injected into the lineup, batting 9th and catching. An awkward swing and a miss brings the count to no balls and 2 strikes. Masick looking for his second straight 1-2-3 inning. Here's the pitch. And that time Reed Latham able to get a piece, and he fouls it away off to the right to stay alive.
Have you heard of Jack Kerouac?
Sending it over the head of some Milford students taking in the game from behind the first base dugout. Another 0-2 pitch on the way, and a high chopper over towards third. Aiden Wild has it, but his throw to first base gets away from Renault, travels down the right field line into foul territory, and completely off the field. And that allows Latham to reach and advance to second. That was a tough play. That one took a very high bounce straight in front of the plate, looped over towards third. Wild trying to get rid of that ball quickly, sent an off-balance throw to first that was wild. So it should go as a single for Reed, and an error on Wild's throw, allowing him to get to second base. So it spoils the bid for the 1-2-3 inning for Masick, and more importantly, puts a runner in scoring position as the leadoff hitter Matt Muir gets his second look at Masick. Can't catch up to the fastball. Latham out to a lead at second base. As this pitch is sent to Wild. A much more routine ground ball this time, and Wild sends an accurate throw to first base for the out that ends the inning, so the error does not hurt Milford in the top of the third inning. And we head to the bottom of the third when we come back. It is still scoreless between the Milford Scarlet Hawks and the Oliver Ames Tigers as we bring you coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics on Milford TV. No runs, 2 hits, no errors for Oliver Ames. No runs, no hits, and 1 error for the Scarlet Hawks. Milford looking for their first base runner as Tyler Renault will lead off the bottom of the third against the starter Ben Kemp. And Kemp issues a called strike 1. Tyler Renault followed by Kevin Cambrola and Tony Mobilia. As that pitch cuts back in too far on the inside part of the plate, evening the count at a ball and a strike. And Renault out in front. A lot of soft stuff out of the hand of Kemp through these early innings, but he's been effective with it, pitching to contact. All 6 outs he's recorded so far have been on balls put in play. And Renault takes a look at a called strike 3, so there's the first strikeout. Renault discards the bat with a bit of frustration, as you can make it now 7 in a row retired to start the game for Ben Kemp. And Cambrola looks at that breaking ball for a called strike 1. These Milford bats are going to have to be patient. Now Cambrola looking to bunt. He pushes it out back towards the mound. A barehanded play for Kemp. Tosses it underhand to first base to get the out. So Cambrola once again using his bunting skills to try to reach. But instead retired on the 1-3 ground out, and Milford now trying to avoid a third straight 1-2-3 inning. Tony Mobilia now at the plate. And he takes a pitch that just narrowly misses. Now this ball slapped on the ground towards second. A rangy play for Goulet, but he's able to get there and needs just a short throw to get to first base for the out that ends the inning. And so first time through the batting order for Milford, they have yet to collect a single base runner. We've played 3 now from Pheno Field. It is still a scoreless contest between Milford and Oliver Ames. Coverage of Milford High School baseball here on Milford TV. Chris Pearsons has flashed some leather through the early innings of this game, playing very well defensively at third base, and now leads off the top of the 4th inning as this game breezes right along. Top of the 4th, Masick back out on the hill, delivers an 0-1 pitch And that's in for a called strike 2. These two pitchers have been very quick and efficient. Now the 0-2, and that one just misses. Both times these two teams played each other last season, the games were not quick and they were not low scoring. Here's a 1-2 offering, and that is in for a called strike 3. There is strikeout number 4 for Alex Masick. We mentioned the 10-4 final score between these two teams in their second meeting of last season, the one that took place here at Pheno Field. As Masick delivers in a called strike 1 to Mitchell Goulet. On April 27th of last year, these two teams playing at Oliver Ames. It was a barn burner, 11-10 the final score, with Oliver Ames squeaking it out in the end. Another strike poured in from Masick, and Goulet, who struck out in his first at-bat, now down in the count once again. Masick this time sends one outside, does not get a chase out of Goulet. Masick stares in over that glove, now winds and fires, and there is a swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts to start the fourth inning. And now with 2 down in the inning, it brings up Kyle Gagliardi, the cleanup hitter. Grounded out to third base his first time up now, sends one straight back up the middle. Tamani gets to it, fires to first, but not in time. That one sliced right back up the middle, then died in front of the second base bag. Tamani had a long way to go to get to it. He was the only one who had a chance to make a play, but just could not get that throw to first base in time, so Gagliardi reaches on an infield single. That's the third hit for Oliver Ames. And it gives Michael Friel a chance to bat in the inning. And he takes a pitch up and in for ball 1.
I don't need a tissue, dude.
3 base runners through the first 3+ innings for Oliver Ames. The runner takes off as this pitch is a called strike, and the throw down to second base for Riley Lynch does not get to the bag. It's a steal for Gagliardi. And so for the second straight inning, Oliver Ames puts a man in scoring position. It's a 1-1 count on Friel. As this pitch is lifted in the air out to center field, Gonsalves races in, has it under control. Now the ball pops out of his glove, and the runner will come around to score. A lack of concentration out in shallow center field for Ryan Gonsalves. Trying to catch that ball one-handed, did not look it fully into the glove. It pops loose. And a careless error by the Scarlet Hawks allows Oliver Ames to take a 1-0 lead. So Friel at first base as Gagliardi came around to score, so that little infield hit ends up doing Milford in the frame, along with the error, so it'll be an unearned run for Masick as he now faces Travis Campbell. That's a strike at the knees. Campbell grounded out to first base to end the second inning. Now up with a man at first base and 2 outs in the fourth, a run home for Oliver Ames. Now they have the runner leaning, and he is out. Masick picks off Michael Friel at first base. They had him leaning in the wrong direction, and a good throw from Masick gets him. So after the error, Masick able to shut down the inning from there, but Oliver Ames strikes first. They grab an unearned run in the top of the fourth inning. They take a 1-0 lead on Milford here on coverage of Scarlet Hawks Athletics on Milford TV. We've now reached the home half of the fourth inning, and we go second time through the Milford lineup. Ryan Gonsalves, the man at the plate, as he looks to atone for an error committed in the top half of this inning that led to the first run of the day crossing the plate. He swats one on the ground towards shortstop. It eluded the glove of the pitcher, but Muir, under control, plays it at shortstop and fires to first to get the out. Gonsalves now 0 for 2. And these Milford bats right now very quiet against Ben Kemp. Kemp has played the role of finesse pitcher so far in this game, but has done it to tremendous success. You can see once again that big looping off-speed pitch that has been his weapon. Getting ahead of Anthony Arcudi. That ball just missing off the outside part of the plate. Evens the count. Arcudi grounded out to third base his first time up. A 2-ball, 1-strike count now on one of the real emotional leaders of this team as Arcudi drives the ball out to left center field, and that's going to drop in for a base hit. Gagliardi playing relatively deep out in center field, couldn't make up the ground. And Arcudi finally breaks up the rhythm for Ben Kemp after the first 10 consecutive batters of this game were retired. Arcudi gets the first Milford hit of the day. See if that takes a little bit of pressure off of these Scarlet Hawks bats. Aiden Wild looking at a pitch outside for ball 1. Wild, much like Arcudi and Gonsalves, grounded out to third base his first time up. Lays off a high pitch. Kemp now having to pitch with a runner on for the first time. Trying to regain his command. And that pitch misses too low, and Wild in the driver's seat in the at-bat now. 3 balls and no strikes. One of the top hitters once again in the Hockomock League in Aiden Wild. Aggressively going after that 3-0 pitch. Sends it hard but foul down the third base line. Fans continue to filter in here at Pheno. Here's a 3-1 pitch now. And that's a foul tip in and out of the mitt of Reed Latham. And from 3-0 now, it's a full count. We'll see if Coach Pellegrini elects to send Arcudi. A speedy runner at first. The runner does go. The breaking ball is high for ball 4. And so Wild gets the free pass down to first. Arcudi advances to second. And now we'll see a mound visit from Coach Abar. It's been smooth sailing for Ben Kemp through the first 3 1/3, but running into his first bit of trouble as he allowed the 1-out single to Arcudi and now a walk to Aiden Wild. And the tying run in scoring position for Zach Tamani due up next. They play in tight at the corners as Arcudi looks at that pitch high. So you can see the command out of the stretch, not quite as sharp for Kemp. Runners leading off of first and second, the pitch. And that misses. Maybe just off the inside edge, a close pitch not going Kemp's way. Continues to work quickly as that ball drops low and inside, and now a 3-ball, no-strike count. The second straight batter that Kemp has fallen far behind. One pitch away from loading the bases. Here's the 3-0, and Tamani lays off, takes another close pitch for ball 4, and back-to-back walks now have loaded the bases for Milford with only 1 out. And a cheering section rising up in the stands now for the sophomore Alex Cody, who steps to the plate in a big situation. Lefty versus lefty matchup with the bases loaded. And Cody offers it the first pitch, lines it out to left field. That's down for a hit. Arcudi comes in from third base to score. They'll hold wild at third base. It's an RBI single for Alex Cody, first pitch swinging, and Cody ties the game at 1. So Milford making some adjustments, and now here we have another mound visit, as it is a very short leash for Kemp. They'll take the baseball here to make the pitching change. And so what a shift after 3 innings in which he didn't allow a single base runner, running into some trouble here in the 4th, and now a quick hook. So we'll check on who will take over on the mound for Oliver Ames. We'll pause for the pitching change. Milford tying the score at 1. And they'll continue to have the bases loaded with 1 out when we come back next here on Milford TV. The new pitcher on for Oliver Ames is Matthew McCormick. Inherits a tough situation here. The bases loaded and 1 out, and the righty's first pitch into Alex Masick is fouled away for strike 1. Masick geared up for that first pitch. All these runners the responsibility of the starter, Ben Kemp. Here's the 0-1, and this is again sent foul and out of play. So McCormick now with a no-ball, 2-strike count. And now a swing and a miss, and Masick down on 3 pitches. So a big out for the Oliver Ames reliever. Gets Masick on 3 straight, and now that leaves the inning up to Tyler Renaud, who struck out looking his first time up. And he takes a pitch low for ball 1. Milford with 8 and Wild at third, Zach Tamani at second, and Alex Cody, after his RBI single, stands off of first. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and this is lifted in the air down the right field line. It is foul and over into the spectators. A long line of spectators with lawn chairs all the way down the right field line. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count now on Renaud. McCormick winds and fires, and that ball tapped. Foul at the plate. Might have gotten a piece of the chest of Tyler Renaud, who's taken a beating in this game. He and Masick collided in foul territory on the first ball put in play of the game back in the top of the first. He's down in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Milford in danger of squandering this bases loaded opportunity. Here's the pitch, and it is swung on and missed for strike 3. So Coach Abar really pushing the right buttons here to finish off the 4th inning. After the bases were loaded with 1 out, they lift Kemp for Matthew McCormick, who proceeds to get back-to-back strikeouts to end the inning. So Milford leaves them loaded. They do bring the tying run in, so we will head to the 5th inning with the score Milford 1 and Oliver Ames 1 on coverage of Scarlet Hawks Athletics on Milford TV. One thing we've talked about quite a bit through this early stretch of the season has been maximizing opportunities at the plate. When Milford was in the midst of that 4-game winning streak, they were doing that just about every time an opportunity presented itself. But unable to do that in the game against North Attleboro, and it came back to bite them. Milford, meanwhile, with a bases-loaded chance in the bottom of the 4th with just 1 out after bringing the tying run in. But strikeouts of Masick and Renaud ended the inning with no further damage done, so a 1-1 tie as Masick is back out there. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count to the number 6 hitter, Travis Campbell. He was at the plate when Michael Friel was picked off of first base to conclude the top of the 4th. Takes a pitch low and outside. Campbell grounded out 3-1 to conclude the 2nd inning. Masick the windup and the pitch. This ball is grounded back up the middle. Tamani has it in the glove. Fires to first and gets the out. So the first man gone in the top of the fifth, and that brings up Evan DeMartinez, batting 0 for 1 on the afternoon with a strikeout. And he takes a pitch outside. 5 strikeouts so far through 5 1/3 innings for Masick. And now this pitch quickly past the bat of DeMartinez. And it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. And now a 2-ball, 1-strike count. Still surprising to see Ben Kemp so quickly lifted from this game, listed as a senior on the roster. So not a young player on this team, pitching so well, but at the first sign of trouble, the coaching staff getting him out of there. Unsure if there was a pitch count situation at play for Ben Kemp. Meanwhile, a 3-ball, 1-strike count to DeMartinez. And now that pitch misses high for ball 4. There's just the first walk of the game from Masick. It comes with 1 out in the 5th. And now Sam Burr will take his second at bat. The captain 0 for 1 with a ground out. And now a pickoff check over at first. Masick already with a pickoff to his credit this afternoon. This time DeMartinez able to get back to the bag. And now a hard line drive back up the middle. Arcudi can't get to it. Travels out into center field. And now Oliver Ames with something brewing in the 5th. The walk and now a single. Runners at first and second ahead of the number 9 hitter Reed Latham, who in his first varsity at bat sent a single. Sent a chopper down the third base line. A wild throw from Aiden Wild at third base led to a single and an error bringing Latham down to second base. Latham showing bunt on that first pitch but pulled the bat back. Oliver Ames looking for that momentum shifting inning after Milford was unable to do any serious damage back in the bottom of the 4th. Both runners take off as this pitch is a strike. The throw down to third base. And they get the out. The throw was not there in time. However, Evan DeMartinez overslid the third base bag, and credit to Aiden Wild. He kept the tag applied, and they're able to get the out at third base. So it'll go in the books as a caught stealing, a big play as the lead runner is thrown out at third. Sam Burr able to get down to second base. So he gets the steal. And a chance now for Masick to end the inning. Dealing with Reed Latham. Here's his next pitch, and it's sent foul to the backstop. Latham pinwheeling the bat, now levels it over the shoulder. As Masick fires in this pitch outside, it had Latham flinching, but kept the bat on the shoulder. Breeze blowing from right to left across the outfield. As this pitch is swung on and missed for strike 3. Masick gets his 5th K of the outing. And that will conclude the top half of the 5th inning, so a key caught stealing play ends up allowing Milford to escape this frame with no runs allowed. So we will head now to the bottom of the 5th inning. It is still a 1-1 tie between Milford and Oliver Ames. Coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics here on Milford TV. The sophomore Matthew McCormick on now for his first full inning of relief, giving Oliver Ames a shot in the arm with those back-to-back strikeouts to force Milford to strand the bases loaded. Now gets a clean inning where he will face Kevin Cambrola, Tony Mobilia, and Ryan Gonsalves. And Cambrola eager on that first swing out in front. Kevin sent a bunt attempt over towards first base, but it ended up going as a 1-3 ground out as the pitcher was able to make the play and the throw to first. The windup and the pitch, and this is lifted in the air out to shallow center field. A long run for Gagliardi, but he's able to get there. The shortstop also on the scene, but the center fielder Gagliardi taking charge, making the catch. And there's one down in the bottom of the fifth. Sends up Tony Mobilia, who grounded out to second base his first time up. And he shows bunt, sends it hard over towards third base. Pearson waits for it, throws to first, and gets it there just in time. Beating Tony Mobilia to first base by about a half a step. If he had bunted that one a little bit softer, he would have had a base hit, but instead it goes as a 5-3 ground out. And there are now 2 outs with the bases empty for Gonsalves. Gonsalves sends a grounder back to the mound, in and out of the glove of McCormick, and no throw to first base as Pearsons couldn't get a clean handle on it. And a break for Milford right there, a hard grounder popped in and out of the mid of McCormick. Hard to charge an error there. Should be an infield hit. So Gonsalves, who had been 0 for 2, is able to reach to extend the inning. And you have to think he will be considering a stolen base here with Arcudi at the plate. He holds on the first pitch, which goes as a called strike. Arcudi turning as if to bunt. And so they called the strike on the swing. Coach Pellegrini out to argue, saying it was a fake bunt. He had pulled the bat head back. Now this pitch inside. The throw from the catcher goes out into center field, and now dangerous for Ryan Gonsalves. He thought about advancing to third, but able to get back to second. So it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count now on Arcudi as Gonsalves is able to get the steal of second base. The go-ahead run in scoring position as Arcudi sends this ball foul, and that will go as strike 2. Milford continuing to steal bases with great efficiency on the season. They now have 34 stolen bases. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and it's a wave and a miss for strike 3, and Arcudi slams the bat down on the dirt around home plate as he will strike out to end the bottom of the 5th inning. More frustration for the Milford offense as they strand a runner in scoring position for the 2nd straight inning. We will head to the 6th. We are still deadlocked at 1 here on Milford TV. Each team with a run on 4 hits. Milford also with a pair of errors in the game. As this ball comes inside on the leadoff hitter, Matt Muir. 1, 2, and 3 due up in the top of the 6th against Masick. As now Masick changes the eye level and gets the outside part of the plate to even the count at 1. Muir batting 1 for 2. He singled to lead off the game. Now pokes one out to shallow center field, but room for Gonsalves to come in to make the play. And you can make it now 1 for 3 for Matt Muir. And now the first pitch into Chris Pearson's eludes the dive of Aiden Wild. It's backed up by Zach Tamani, but nothing he can do but keep it in the glove. So an infield hit with 1 out for Chris Pearson's. That gives Oliver Ames their 5th hit. And now the number 3 hitter, Mitchell Goulet. He has struck out twice so far on the afternoon. First a pickoff check at first. Masic's had a very good move to first base in this game. He has 1 pickoff, but has come close on a few other occasions. He'll double up on pickoff attempts. That time Pearson's almost stepping off the bag in foul territory as Renault put the tag on him, but he gets in safely. Now to the plate, and the pitch is high. Masick doing what he can to keep that runner off balance at first, given the throwing issues that Riley Lynch has had to second base so far on the year. As this ball is flared out to center field, that's down for a hit. Pearsons will move up to second base and hold there. That's back-to-back base hits. And trouble in the making now for Masick. Lynch will come out to have a brief conversation with Alex. As Oliver Ames now has runners at first and second base, 1 out in the inning, and now Kyle Gagliardi coming to the dish. Gagliardi scored the lone Oliver Ames run back in the 4th inning after a dropped pop-up by Ryan Gonsalves. And he looks at the first pitch outside. It gets away from Lynch, and both runners will advance. A pass ball for Riley Lynch. And now the go-ahead run at third base in the form of Chris Pearson's Mitchell Goulet in scoring position as well now at second. And this will initiate a full conference on the pitcher's mound as Coach Alex Dion comes out of the dugout. The entire infield follows suit. And Oliver Ames will also take the opportunity as their base runners, along with the current batter, Gagliardi, head over to third base to have a conversation with the Tigers' third base coach. So 2 hits so far in the 6th inning. Now 6 in all for the Tigers' offense. In a recent conversation I had with Coach Pellegrini, we talked about the ability for Alex Masick to really keep his composure and sometimes be at his best when his back is up against the wall, when there are runners on in a key situation. As we'll see here now, Milford will elect to put Gagliardi on with the intentional walk. You got to be on your toes now when that intentional walk is called for, as the pitches no longer need to be thrown. That'll go as the second walk for Masick, so the base is intentionally loaded to set up a possible double play. And Masick now delivers strike 1 into Michael Friel. He was the one who sent the ball out to center field that went for the error that delivered Oliver Ames' first run. This ball trouble down the right field line if it's fair, but it is a foul ball. And Masick able to get ahead of Friel, 0-2. Masick would certainly take a strikeout or a double play ball right here. Here's the 0-2 pitch. And it's low. It gets away from Lynch. It goes to the backstop, and in from third base comes Chris Pearsons with the go-ahead run. So the second passed ball of the inning. And that allows Oliver Ames to take a 2-1 lead. It's now a 1-ball, 2-strike count on Friel. Runners at second and third. And the infield in tight for Milford. Here's the pitch, and it's outside. So not exactly the way Oliver Ames drew up their offensive attack here today, scoring 1 run on an error and their second run on a passed ball. Here's a 2-2 delivery. And that ball outside, and Friel able to hold up on the swing. So from 0-2 now, it's a 3-2 count. The payoff pitch sent foul over the first base dugout. And taking a hard ricochet off of something just beyond our viewpoint here in the press box. Doesn't seem to be any activity warming up from Milford. This is May 6th inning. Another 3-2 pitch. And this is a floater back out towards center field. The catch made by Gonsalves. The tag at third. The throw comes into second base as Mitchell Goulet crosses the plate. And they send the throw over to third base, and they will say the runner left early. So they check over to third base, and they'll say that Goulet left early before the catch was secured, so a heads-up play from Milford, and that will deny a second run for Oliver Ames in the inning. They do get the go-ahead run, but Goulet out to end the inning. It stays a 2-1 ball game as we will head to the bottom of the 6th inning when we come back here on Milford TV. So an unconventional double play to conclude the top half of the 6th inning as Mitchell Goulet left early for the plate after that catch was made in center field. Milford aware of the situation, and so Gonsalves' throw ended up going over to third base. They get the out there that concluded the inning. So Oliver Ames does have the lead at 2-1, but still a manageable game as Aiden Wild starts off the bottom of the 6th. McCormick still out there on the hill for Oliver Ames as that pitch will go straight to the backstop. Aiden Wild so far today, a ground out and a walk. He was stranded at third base as part of that bases loaded squander in the 4th. And takes that pitch high for ball 4, so there's his second walk. We've seen a lot of pitchers work very conservatively to Aiden Wild. Not wanting to groove a pitch to one of the top hitters in the league, one of the top hitters in the state, forcing some of these other hitters in the Milford lineup to do the damage as Tamani sends a ball foul off towards the Milford on-deck area. A long hesitation here for Matthew McCormick as now this ball is sent on a bounce to shortstop. They get the out at second, and the throw to first completes a 6-4-3 double play. Wild got down the line quickly. It looked like it was maybe going to be a close play at second, but a quick release for Matt Muir at shortstop got the first out. And then they get Tamani at first to finish off the 6-4-3 double play. And suddenly the bases are empty with 2 outs. Milford now with 4 outs left to work with. As Alex Cody takes ball 1. Alex has the most productive hit Milford has had all day. It was an RBI single in the bottom of the 4th inning that at the time tied the game at 1. That hit chasing the starting pitcher, Ben Kemp, from the game, who only went 3 1/3 innings, so he will not factor into the decision. As this pitch misses low. It's been an inning and 2/3 of solid relief out of McCormick. As that ball is in for a strike. Cody thought it was ball 4, but got the bad news. Should Cody reach, Alex Masick would have a chance to bat in the inning. Here's the next one. And it's sent on the ground on a couple of hops towards Mitchell Goulet at second. He fires to first, and Milford is retired in the bottom of the 6th inning. A double play ball taking Milford out of a potential rally in the 6th. So we will move on to the top of the 7th, where Oliver Ames will have a 2-1 lead on Milford as we bring you coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics on Milford TV. Through his first 6 innings, Alex Masick has allowed 2 runs, just one of them earned on 6 hits. He's walked 2 and struck out 6. He will face batters 6, 7, and 8 in the top of the 7th. And first pitch swinging, Travis Campbell sends it foul and out of play. Offense has been at a premium through this one. Milford getting their run on an RBI single from Alex Cody in the 4th. Oliver Ames getting their first run on an error in center field back in the 4th inning, and then scoring the run to break a 1-1 tie on a passed ball in the top of the 6th. Masick getting ahead of Campbell, who is 0 for 2. And you can make it 0 for 3 as he gets set down on a called strike 3. So Masick gets his 7th K. And that will bring up Evan DeMartinez, who has a strikeout and a walk on his resume for the afternoon. He swings at the first pitch and sends it in the air out to left center. Over comes Cambrola into the gap. He makes the catch. One pitch, and DeMartinez is retired. 2 up and 2 down in the 7th. Looking ahead to Milford's half of the inning, they will have Masick, Renault, and Cambrola, batters 6, 7, and 8 due up. Hoping to keep it at a 1-run deficit. But first, Masick will have to deal with Sam Burr. 1 for 2 with a single. He swings at the first pitch and pops it up foul over into the trees behind the left field bleachers. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. That's outside. The Milford fans wanted the strike call. They do not get it. And this ball down and in. Burr's single came back in the 5th inning. He also grounded out back to the mound in the 3rd. About to see a 2-1 pitch, and that's in for a strike. The bases are empty with 2 outs in the top of the 7th. Masick looking for a 1-2-3 inning. He hasn't had one since the 2nd. But he will get one here as that ball is hit right back to the mound into the glove of Masick. He'll throw to first to get the out that ends the inning. So Oliver Ames goes quickly and quietly in the 7th. Can Milford mount a 7th inning comeback? They trail it by 1. We'll see Masick, Renault, and Cambrola come to the plate in the bottom of the 7th inning next on Milford TV. If you fall into the camp that believes baseball has a pace of play issue, then you've loved this game here this afternoon. We've needed just an hour and 20 minutes to get through the first 6.5 innings. And Milford hoping this bottom half of the 7th will last a little bit longer than most of their innings so far in this game. Again, trailing 2-1. Milford has managed to get base runners on in each of the last 3 innings, but just 1 run to show for it. They have 4 runners stranded. And Alex Masick, facing Matthew McCormick, takes a pitch high for ball 1 to open the bottom of the 7th. Masick 0 for 2. A swing and a miss brings the count to 1-1. Masick up now, Tyler Renault warming up in the on-deck area. As that pitch misses a little bit high, the Milford fans trying to get enthused, trying to spark a rally. McCormick's 2-1 pitch, and this is laced down the third base line, but just foul. Some of the hardest contact we've seen all day, but that one kicking just to the left of the third base bag. And it's a 2-ball, 2-strike count on Masick. And offers at that inside pitch and just gets a piece to stay alive. Trying to get his hands inside the baseball to make contact with that one, just did. And another 2-2 pitch on the way, and that bounces. Masick putting on a good at-bat to start the 7th inning. Matthew McCormick has pitched 2 2/3 innings of relief. He's allowed just 2 base runners, an infield hit, and a walk. He's struck out 3. Here's his 3-2 pitch, and that is outside for ball 4. So Masick, after putting on a tough at-bat, wins the battle. Works Milford's 3rd walk of the day, and more importantly, starts off the inning with the tying run at first base. Now Tyler Renault looking to bunt, sends it down the first base line, but foul. Reed Latham, the catcher, picking that one up in foul territory, making sure it didn't kick off that lip of the grass and head back into fair territory. So Milford looking for some small ball here to push the tying run into scoring position. We'll see if the bunt play remains on with the 0-1 count. Renault squaring around already as this ball is deadened out towards the pitcher. The throw to first base gets Renault, but a textbook sacrifice as Masick moves up to second base. And we will now see a pinch hitter for Kevin Cambrola as Luke Allegrezza grabs a bat and comes out to bat in the place of Kevin Cambrola. The Milford bench now engaged as Milford has that tying run at second base. Allegrezza takes the first pitch high for ball 1. Kevin Cambrola had been 0 for 2. That ball outside and nearly ending up to the backstop. Reed Latham extending the glove out behind the left side batter's box to just reel that pitch in. It's a 2-ball, no-strike count on Allegrezza. And he sends it hard on the ground towards shortstop. Masick has to retreat to second as Muir's throw to first is good. 6-3 on the ground out, and Milford now down to their final out. And it will take something from Tony Mobilia if we are to continue. Mobilia on the afternoon, a ground out to second base and a ground out to third. Swings at the first pitch and hits it foul at the plate. The fans continue to cheer right to the end here at Pheno. A 2-1 Oliver Ames lead, 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th as Masick leads off of second base. Here's the pitch, and it's another tapper foul. And Milford's down to their last out. Ryan Gonsalves hoping he has a chance to come to the plate. No balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. Here is the pitch, and it's low. Mobilia able to lay off. Masick again out to a big lead. The shortstop now creeping in behind. Here's a 1-2 pitch, and that's in for a called strike 3. A good pitch at the knees as Mobilia fires the bat and the helmet away. A frustrating end to this game. It was a frustrating day all the way around for the Milford offense as they end up losing to Oliver Ames by a final score of 2-1. So Oliver Ames getting a run on an error and a run on a wild pitch, and that was enough. So in this rivalry matchup, Oliver Ames walks away with their 3rd straight victory in 2 seasons against Milford. With the win, Oliver Ames out of the Kelly Rex will improve to 7-4 overall on the season, and with the loss, Milford will drop to 5-4. So once again, Milford will look to bounce back off of a loss in their next game. That will come up on May 1st on the road against Attleboro. Our next coverage of this Milford baseball team will come up on May 3rd as the Hawks return home to face Mansfield. That is when we'll have our next coverage here at Pheno Field. But in the meantime, a big thank you to our crew on hand here for the coverage on Milford TV, our directors for the game, Mike Sperling and John Giacomuzzi, and our camera operators, Rob O'Keefe and Malcolm Zale. And I am Tim Coet. Your final score, one final time, Oliver Ames over Milford by a final score of 2-1. This has been a presentation of Scarlet Hawks Athletics here on Milford TV. So long, everybody.